Hello, everyone. It's Mike from Downtown Comics, and I'm here with James Rossman. James, how you doing today?
Pretty good, Mike. How about you?
All right, I'm doing great. We're going to be doing episode 2 of our Let's Talk Comics. So we're going to be talking about all the comics that are releasing Wednesday, December 11th. So we're going to get started here. Before we begin, though, downtowncomics.com is the place to go to check out all the new comics and covers that are coming out this week. And then liking, sharing, and subscribing is always appreciated. And especially comments, constructive criticism, what we can do better, what we like, that would be helpful as well. So, all right. So, yes, last week it was kind of each of us had a little bit of both companies, but this week, oh, actually, you have a non-DC book.
I do.
I realize that. But yeah, so
yeah,
I'm all Marvel this week. Okay. All right. We're going to let you go first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So first up, we have Superwoman, written by the great Joshua Williamson.
Okay.
So this is a one-shot, which is kind of sad because I thought the book was great, actually. It kind of followed Lois Lane with her getting powers. I won't say exactly how she gets them. I'll leave that for you guys to read it if you haven't just yet. But yeah, there was a 2-page spread in here of Kara and then Lois Lane and then Lana was in there as well.
Okay.
So it was kind of.
Wait, Lana has superpowers?
Yeah. Yep.
Is she called Superwoman also?
That's what we're led to believe in this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I haven't been following this, completely. So I know a little bit, but okay.
Yeah, because obviously Kara is Supergirl, but they just call her by Lana in this issue. So I assume so. But but it was kind of funny because in this issue they were talking about how there's like a zillion Green Lanterns and why can't there be multiple Superwomen?
Sure.
So yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I thought this was pretty. It kind of deals with Lois figuring out how she got her powers, and we kind of find out there might be a limit to her powers, and they're not sure exactly yet because there's a lady, her name's Mercy. Is it Mercy?
Mercy, yeah.
Mercy, yeah. Mercy, and she used to work for Lex Luthor, and now she's I think it was Kara or Lana. She's like, why didn't you come to us? Why did you go to her? She's like, she worked for Lex, and she's like, basically saying she thinks that she could help her figure out is the sun what gives her the strength like it does any other Kryptonian, because overall it was a really good issue. I wish it was more, and hopefully it will pick up somewhere else.
Okay, and it's not like sometimes DC reprints shorter stories and combines them into this is new material.
It is,
right?
yeah.
It is new material. Okay,
yeah,
awesome.
So, yeah.
All right, great.
Alrighty.
All right, so my first one is the debut of the Infinity Watch, the new version. So if you've read books as long as I have, Infinity Watch is a name you're familiar with. Back in the 90s, after Infinity Gauntlet, they split up the stones and they gave them all to different heroes, and they became an Infinity Watch. They were supposed to guard the stones so that you couldn't, bring them together and form the gauntlet or whatever. And of course, that failed again later on. So this is our new iteration. The big part about this is that the characters were all introduced last summer during an annual event. So a bunch of different annuals had one shot saying, here's who gets the Power Stone, here who gets the Mind Stone, etc. And then there was the Avengers annual at the end of it, brought them all together. That was our first introduction of the team. And the big reveal was that Phil Coulson is back.
Yes. Oh, my
goodness. He is officially Death now, which is kind of wacky.
Smokes. Okay.
So he's officially Death, and there is a Death Stone, so that's new. I don't know where it was. I didn't read the annual, so I'm coming into this cold.
Okay.
So I don't know when the Death Stone was created. But so he owns the Death Stone. He's Death. So this book basically introduces the team dynamic and whether they're going to be a team. I think the whole book revolves around why do these godlike people now have to hang out together? So the crux of the book will be, can they give them opponents that are worthy of their time? Because they can basically snap their fingers and do whatever they want for the most part, especially the reality gem holder. So yeah, that's the big thing. So yeah, they did have a big opponent in this book, and there was a kind of not a twist ending, but a stinger ending, so it makes you want to read the second issue. I felt it did a good job of really allowing you to jump into this without knowing anything. So, and a lot of the characters I don't know, right? So Star I know, obviously Phil Coulson as Death I know, but most of the other ones were brand new. They were introduced at the annuals, and I'm fine. I was fine with it. So, so you can jump in even if you don't know what the heck I'm talking about. It was a good read, like I said, some good fights, and then at the end I'm like, all right, you've given me enough to want to read the second issue. So,
and some of the gods in this. I think you mentioned how like some of them don't want to be like part of a team.
Yeah, part of the team dynamic is, do they even need to be a team? Like I said, each one of them individually is so powerful that they can just do whatever they want to do, basically. So some want to have this team concept. Others are like, I just want to go do whatever. Yeah. So that's part of that'll be part of the book. So,
sweet. Yeah. All right. Well, next up for me is Batman Dark Patterns. This is based in Batman's third year, and this is also where Gordon's a lieutenant now, he's a lieutenant because obviously this is in the past. So, but this kind of follows like a series of 3 murders, and it's kind of more murder mystery-esque. So it's not like like the Batman that's like in outer space with the Justice League and things on like along that nature. But if you're really big into the classical like Batman murder mystery type of
kind of Long Halloween,
exactly,
Batman's grave kind of thing. Okay.
So so in this they actually Gordon brings in a new forensic pathologist, and he's basically Gordon's telling Batman, he's like, we don't have a lot of people to help out. He's like, we're taking what we can get, and Batman's like, don't think I really trust this guy. So obviously he goes off and tries to figure out, like, is he a part of these murders and, things along that. So, it was kind of interesting in this because there's a fight between Batman and I think they call him like the Wound Man or whatever. But it was like, torture, because it was the first of third murder that, it's where they put like these needles and like weapons and all kinds of sharp stuff into your body. It doesn't kill you.
Okay.
But if someone like punches you or anything like that, then that's immediate death. So Batman's fighting this guy, and he's like, oh shoot, I can't hit him because if I do, I'll kill him. So,
right.
And, obviously Batman doesn't kill. So it's, it's interesting seeing, how the battle ends. So I won't ruin it.
Okay. And this is a limited series?
It is. It's 12 issues.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
Yep. So.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Cool. All right. We're going to go with another number 1. I got a lot of number 1s today. So Laura Kinney, this version of Wolverine, the female Wolverine, she's getting her own book. She's had books before, One Shot. She was on NYX. So not her first time, but this is her latest iteration. Truly meat and potatoes book. Your basic, here's the character. I'm going to go on an adventure. Get introduced to her. So if you're new and you always wanted whether you saw the Deadpool Wolverine movie or you just think she looks cool if you've seen her in other team books, this is a perfect book to just pick up and read and see whether you want to follow her adventures. I think it's kind of like I would say it's when you picked up the Wolverine book the first time in the 80s. He went to Madripoor and he had an adventure, and then he went here and had an adventure. It's kind of like, what's he doing when he's not on the X-Men kind of thing.
Oh, sure.
So this is the same thing. She is on I think the version of NYX that's currently a team book. So this is just her doing her own thing individually. She goes to Dubai in this one. There's a villain. She's trying to save a mutant. So, I can't say anything more than it's fine.
Yeah.
If you want to check out the character, you don't have to know anything about her. If you think she looks cool, try it out. But I enjoyed it. It's,
Yeah, I heard that people were, like, saying that this isn't a one-shot, but it's kind of, like, more or less kind of self-contained that actually kind of carries over to... I don't know, it's weird. I think what someone said is it's like a one-and-done issue that will, like, carry over, basically.
So it's a one... Yeah, so again, I think that's the way they're going to write this, more of one-and-dones, not necessarily long-term plot lines, at least at the beginning. But yes, at the end, they kind of set up an ongoing thing. But again, I feel like it's just going to be a series of one-off or two-off adventures where she's trying to help someone.
Oh, I like that actually.
Yeah, so it seems like something you can just get into and read whenever, you
Right.
know. So yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot of comics do that. I don't feel like.
So yeah, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
All right. So next up for me is Transformers number 15, written by Daniel Warren Johnson. This issue, like you said that you read this as well, didn't you?
Yes, I've been reading Transformers. Yeah, it's awesome.
What did you think of this issue?
Yeah, crazy. I mean, like I said, it's a out of control freight train type ride. You're just holding on, never slows down.
Yeah. They in this issue, it obviously like Megatron's kind of like out of the picture right now, so like I feel like the Decepticons are kind of disheveled and kind of like, well, kind of like what are we gonna do and stuff like that. But Starscream doesn't come until the end of this issue.
Yes, he's our third wheel now. He's our wild card, and what they've done to him is just, like I said, the book is just kind of crazy in the way it's just doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many Transformers. There's carnage all over the place. So yeah, it's just I can only call it like a wild ride. Like if they tried to make this into a movie, it would be like Michael Bay times 1,000.
It would be. Yeah.
There's just stuff happening.
Budget through the roof. Yeah, that was interesting. In this, there's a page in here where Optimus is like, he arrives and then like the humans start attacking him, and he's like, basically he's asking the humans, he's like, is this what all you guys do is just destroy things and destroy each other? And I was like, wow, that's kind of strong.
It seems like he's a character now that has got some disillusionment about everyone around him. Especially I guess humanity, because but you can't blame us, I think, because they're literally destroying cities.
Exactly.
So and just like me, I can't tell a good robot from a bad robot. It's just like there's just a big tall thing, I'm going to shoot at it probably. So I don't fault us as much as since we don't know. So,
yeah. I thought it was so in this I think Cliffjumper he went back to Cybertron. And he's like, oh, yay, I'm back here. And then he finds out that, like, Cybertron's, like, a lot, it's not what he thought. It's a lot more brutal. And there was a part in here where Beachcomber, where he killed a Decepticon. And, Cliffjumper was like, whoa, like, that's not what Optimus taught us. And so he's like, well, has Optimus Prime ever had to actually, survive? So I was like, oh, wow, good point. And in this issue, because was it half of Cybertron is in the ocean?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was interesting as well.
All right. Yeah, no, definitely I would say that anyone that's even a passing interest in Transformers, it's not your TV show Transformers, number one.
It's mature.
Yeah, it's very hardcore.
Yep.
And but it's fun.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. So even if you're just have a passing interest, I think it's worth checking it out, And if you jumped in like right now, you'd be kind of lost. But I feel like every issue, they just throw so many Transformer names out at you that you're like, who is this again? What does he look like? Well, you do. No, that's why they literally have encyclopedias full of these things. So, okay.
Yeah, overall, really good issue.
It's been super solid book. So, yeah.
Definitely.
All right, my last number one. I've got the other one's at number 7. So, all right, so this is a one-shot in our new Ultimate Universe. So, I don't know about you, but I've basically been keeping up with the Ultimates and Ultimate Spider-Man. I've done a little bit of Ultimate Black Panther, not much Ultimate X-Men. So I know a little, but I like the world view that they've got, right? So the world has been, really quick, the world has been divided into all these supervillains basically control the world. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 regions, and each one has a group, like a single supervillain or a group of supervillains controlling it. And so basically this introduces us to this version of Nick Fury, which is more based on the classical Nick Fury. So the Samuel L. Jackson Nick Fury from the previous Ultimate Universe is not around for this one. And he's in charge of Hand, which is this universe version of S.H.I.E.L.D., except this S.H.I.E.L.D. or Hand goes around killing anyone that may or may not rebel against the status quo. So basically, if you're even thinking of rebelling, or maybe you're going to develop a superpower or be some sort of vigilante or someone, they just kill you literally, and
All right.
and they show you that right off the bat. It's told through Nick Fury's eyes. It's a one shot, and it really does involve the bigger cabal of villainy that's going on. So Nick Fury, not a nice guy. He's not a hero. And we can see through this story whether he tries to redeem himself or whether he's successful. But basically, yeah, you get there's no heroes in this one. It's all villains.
Okay.
So yeah, it's basically him talking to the overall cabal and giving him a status update, because it's like the Maker and then all the villains and then Nick Fury. And Nick Fury's in charge of keeping order basically while the villains like run everything.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty
So
hardcore.
yeah, so it's very hardcore, kind of depressing actually, because these villains are, they're villain, they're straight up bad guys. Like they're not a Magneto or a Doctor Doom in our core universe where there's some sympathies there sometimes. These guys are just straight out evil, all of them. So they all, So, but we'll see. Can Nick Fury redeem himself? I don't know.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to pick that up. Actually.
But it's good. Yeah,
nice.
if you're reading or you want to be up on what's going on in the Ultimate Universe, you should pick this up. So
Sweet. All right. Well, so next up for me is not a DC, Marvel, or an Image. I think is Ablaze. Is that
Ablaze.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one of their. They were pretty hot and heavy when they first came out, and they've done good stuff. But lately, I haven't seen much from them. So I ordered this book just because the title was cool and the cover was cool.
Yeah.
So I was like, this got a real Crow vibe to it.
It does. Yeah, it absolutely does. Yeah.
So
this was really interesting. It's about these two star-crossed lovers basically, and one was a princess, and the other one was she wanted to build this library, and so she hired this guy Darius Ravenscar, and hired him as like the chief architect on the library. Well, he goes over to the palace or whatever, and he's talking to her about it, and so showing her the schematics, and her dad comes in, and he's like, no, I will not allow the library. He's like, they're kind of in this more industrial transformation basically.
Okay.
And so he's like, we don't need a place of library, of books. We just need more buildings for industrialization and stuff like that. So I thought it was I thought it was actually really interesting. I don't remember how many issues it's going to be, but
I know I've ordered 4.
Is it
so
4?
It's at least 4.
Gotcha.
Maybe longer, but I've ordered at least 4.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So is it fantasy or is it horror?
It's like a gothic horror basically.
Oh, gothic horror.
Yeah,
okay,
so
gothic horror.
It kind of almost reminds me of like the character Darius reminds me almost kind of the Sandman, like Neil Gaiman.
Yep.
Yeah, so kind of reminds me of that. He doesn't necessarily know like his family's history and stuff like that. So but towards the end, he kind of finds out like what he actually is. I won't spoil that, but yeah, overall, really good first issue.
Okay, yeah. And he's the main character?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. So my last one is Uncanny X-Men #7. So as you know, they relaunched the X-Men books over the summer once the Krakoa era ended. So you have 2 main books, X-Men and Uncanny X-Men, 2 different teams. So X-Men has the Cyclops-led team, and this one has the Rogue-led team. Okay. So I'm still on the fence on which team I like better.
Oh, yeah.
Because Cyclops has Juggernaut, and that's kind of cool. And also, let's see, who else is on that one? Let's see, Juggernaut's the only one. Quentin Meyer, the alpha level telepath guy.
Oh, okay.
Quentin something or other, yeah. Whereas this one, though, has Rogue, Gambit, Nightcrawler, and Wolverine. So that's a really good lineup,
yeah,
right?
Stacked, yeah.
So, but the thing is, they're like based in Louisiana, which is not as cool as Cyclops' team, which is based in Alaska. It's just a cooler locale, I guess. So yeah, I mean, but right now I'm really liking the book. So this is Gail Simone's book. She's a great writer. She wrote a lot for DC, Birds of Prey, Batgirl, that kind of stuff. She's written Red Sonja. I mean, she's written a lot of stuff. So she's a good writer. But basically this story so far has been, they picked up 4 new young mutants. They saved them right at the beginning. So it's Jitter, Death Dream, Calico, and Ransom. Okay. So there's 4 of them. My 2 favorites so far is Calico, who I'm not even sure what her mutant power is, but she has a horse. Okay.
Gotcha.
And then she's able to manifest certain things with that horse. But I'm not sure if the horse is a real horse or a manifestation of her. So, because the horse, I don't know. Anyway, they're pretty cool. And then Death Dream is the other one. And you mentioned Sandman with Parliament of Rooks, and I'm going to say the same thing. It's a kid who he just looks like Sandman, basically.
Okay, nice.
A young, like a teenage Sandman. And he can basically summon stuff, I think, from the Dark Dimension, maybe, or the Realm of Death. I'm not sure. They haven't really gone into all their different powers. But anyway, so protecting those 4 has been the mainstay of the book. Well, we're in a crossover. So this is the first time the Uncanny Team and the X-Men have crossed over.
Okay.
So this is part 2. The issue before of X-Men was part 1. Basically, Xavier's mansion has been taken over by bad guys and turned into a prison. So the original Xavier's mansion. So the Beast was kidnapped. And then from this team, Calico, the chick with the horse, the girl with the horse, was kidnapped. So Rogue's team want to go in and save their person, and then Cyclops' team wants to go in and rescue Beast. And so they're trying to communicate on what to do, and they're at odds. Like, so Cyclops is like, don't do it. And they're like, we're going to do it. And they're like, but you got to coordinate with us. Like, we don't have to do anything with you. So obviously chaos ensues. They both attack the mansion at the same time and basically run into each other. So it's just now we've got bad guys and 2 groups of X-Men that aren't seeing eye to eye and, stuff. So basically this is part of a larger little 4-issue crossover between both teams. So it's a good chance to try out both books. If you are only reading one and not the other, it's a good chance to see the other side. But yeah, I really like the makeup of this team. The art's great. David Marquez, I think is how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, I think so.
He's an A-list artist, so they've got good talent on this book. And the 4 kids are interesting, so we're learning more about them each issue. But obviously there's some standouts. So yeah.
Sweet.
Really like it. So this is part 2. There'll be 2 more parts.
2 more? Okay, nice.
2 more.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that about does it for us this episode.
Alrighty. Well, okay. So we went through a few books. We appreciate you watching, and hopefully you learned something or got interested in something. I would say if any of our suggestions made you want to pick up the book and you did and you liked it, hey, let us know in the comments. We love that if someone agrees with us. Yeah. All right, James, we're going to get out of here. Thanks for being there. We'll be here next week for episode 3, and we'll see what's coming out new.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching.